What's going on, guys? It's been a minute since I've done one of these, so let's go ahead and get right into my trade paperback and graphic novel collection. I do have it in order, alphabetically. First up, we have Aquaman from the New 52, Volume 3. I got this in a collection of comics, I think a whole short box for 30 bucks. No, not 30 bucks, 20 bucks. So I think I paid like 20 cents, 25 cents, and this was in it, or per book, actually. This next one was an A-OK from a good friend, Adrian Pandawson 316. This is Batgirl from the New 52, volume number 1. I got like 7 or 8 of these issue number 1s, but this is the only trade paperback. Next up is another one of those books I got from that $20 short box. This is Birds of Prey, volume 2 from the New 52. Pretty cool cover. Next up, I have one of these. This is Batman's Mystery Casebook. Got that from Paul Rogers at the ABX Comics and Games in Augusta, Georgia. Next up, this is Batman: A Death in the Family. I got this from Reggie Collects. I do have the comic book issues for this, but obviously I like to have a lot of trade paperbacks and graphic novels. I just prefer to read like bigger stories like this in a trade paperback form, so that way I don't have to worry about messing up the pages. Good story. It's actually not one of my favorite Batman stories, and I'll tell you why later, because there's a bunch of other books that I prefer more. And this next one is one of them. This is Batman: The Dark Knight Returns from Frank Miller. Iconic story. It's still really, really, really good. And I definitely need to get me an issue number 1 in like a 9.6, 9.8. I do have issues 1 through 4 raw, but none of them are, grade worthy in my opinion. But had the trade paperback. I got it from Vintage Stock. I can't remember how much I paid for it. I think it was like 15 or 20. Next up, this is probably the book that I've read more than any other trade paperback in my collection. This is Batman Year 1 from Frank Miller, David Mazzucchelli. I have issue 1 in a 9.8, Batman 404. But again, I prefer to read these stories in trade paperback form. I prefer to just be able to read them and not have to worry about messing up the corners, edges, and any of that. And this is probably my favorite DC story to read. As I've said, I've read this many, many, many times. I'll probably read it again here this summer. One of my better friends just read this the other day. Great story. Next up, going from a great story to a not great story, in my opinion, Batman: The Long Halloween. I know that is kind of a hot take. Not a big fan of the art, and I think the story is way too long. I'm a big Batman fan, big DC fan. I really don't like this. I'll be honest. I did not like Batman: The Long Halloween. Next up, this was an A-OK from Ruby G, Cool Calm Collected. This is Batman Black Mirror. Scott Snyder, Jock. I think this is right before the New 52. I liked it. It's pretty long, but I really enjoyed it. I really did. Okay, this is probably my next one. I'm going to show up both of them at the same time. Probably my second favorite Batman story. This is Batman Court of Owls. I got issue number 1 and volume number 2. This is, I think, issues 1 through 12 and the annual for the entire Court of Owls, City of Owls storyline from Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo, and Jonathan Glapion. Absolute masterpiece of a story. They need to do this in a live action movie at some point because it is so good. If you haven't read it, make sure you guys get your hands on some Batman New 52 Volume 1 and Volume 2. Court of Owls is amazing. Next up is another one of those books that I got from that $20 short box. Batman Detective Comics New 52 Volume 3. Okay, this is my only omnibus in my entire collection. This was an A-OK from my friend Mike V, Scott Collins Goodness, Ethan Van Sciver. Flash Omnibus Volume number 1. I can't remember what issues it collects, but it is the later part right before the Flashpoint and New 52. It's pretty good. It took me a long time to read this. I think there's like 400 pages or something like that. It's really, really, really good stuff. Thank you again to Mike V. Okay, this might be one of my favorite like DC stories that does not involve Batman. And this is Flashpoint. Jeff Johns' goodness. I really enjoyed his Flash Rebirth, the original Flash Rebirth as well, but this is really good too. The movie is great. I enjoyed the live action Flash movie, but I'm talking about the animated Flash movie was very good as well. Great story. I really, really, really enjoyed this book. I think this is actually my first trade paperback I bought, actually. I think I got this in that $20 short box as well. Flash Volume 1 for the New 52. I either got it in there or from Mike V, but I'm pretty sure I got it in that $20 box. And I bought this before. Flash Volume 1 for the New 52. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, I did enjoy this. I got this from Legion of Comics' dad, Pop's Attic. This is Flash Rebirth Volume 1 and 2. I think I paid $5 each, I think. Pretty good storyline. You get introduced to Godspeed. It's pretty good. I do have this in comic book form as well. But it's always nice, again, like I said, to have the trade paperback so you can actually read them and not worry about messing up the book. Okay, this is one of my favorite non-Big Two stories. This is God Country, the entire story by Donny Cates. And this is actually an A-OK from Mike V as well, and he got it signed to Steve by Donny Cates. Look at that remark right there. Pretty sick. Awesome story. It is so good. If you've never read God Country, so good. Make sure you guys get your hands on one of these. Probably my favorite non-Power Rangers TMNT indie book, for sure. Thank you again to Mike V for the book and the signature and remark. Next up, we got more Jeff Johns goodness. Green Lantern Rebirth. Pretty good. Not like amazing, but good. Okay, this is probably my second favorite trade paperback. I just got this. I do have them in comic book form as well. Amazing storyline by Mark Waid. This is Kingdom Come. Just read it again recently, and it's still so good. If you've never read Kingdom Come, make sure you guys get your hands on one of these trade paperbacks or the comic books. And I got this from Legion of Comics. I won his Legion Loot giveaway. This is The Kingdom. This is kind of like the sequel to Kingdom Come. It's okay. It's okay. It's hard to live up to the original when you don't have the same team on it. It's okay. I'm thankful that I won it, though. That's for sure. Make sure you guys follow Legion of Comics. Okay. Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Volume 1 from the current Boom Studios run. Kyle Higgins. The art by, how do you say that? Presidia? So good. So good. Like, look at that. Amazing. I'd say Volume 1 and Volume 2 are still probably the best volumes of the current Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So good. I need to go back and reread this because I remember it being very good. I remember when it hit the shelves as comic books, and I remember it being very good. Okay, this is Power Rangers Soul of the Dragon. This is about Tommy Oliver, Jason David Frank, as he's been, 5 different Rangers here. About basically his life after Power Rangers and how he has to go back and become each one of those Power Rangers in this story. Very good, written by Kyle Higgins and JDF. Rest in peace, Jason David Frank. My favorite Power Ranger. Okay, I got these next ones from Pop's Attic as well. We got Red Hood and Outlaws Volume 1 and Volume 2. I need to read them. I remember it being pretty good, though. I think I read issue 1 or 2. But I need to read the entire volume 1 and volume 2. Scott Lobdell is a pretty good writer, so I need to go back and read this. Okay, we're getting to the end here. I do want to say TMNT is next. I am missing one book, and it is the hardcover for TMNT The Last Ronin. I let my nephew borrow it to read it, and he's reading it right now. I'll throw up a photo of it on the screen. It is arguably one of the best TMNT stories of all time, for sure. I enjoyed it. It sold a ton of books. But yeah, that is the only book I'm missing currently. It's just right down the street at my nephew's place. Okay, we have volume 1 from the current TMNT run on IDW. I guess it just ended, but they're going to relaunch it. This is volume 1. Kevin Eastman, Tom Waltz. Can't have issue 1 without. Sorry, can't have volume 1 without volume 2. Can't have 2 without 3. Look at that cover. That is a sick cover. Can't have volume 3 without, yep, you guessed it, volume 4. Can't have volume 4 without volume 5. I think that's the last volume. So I think this collects like the first 20 issues or so. And then I also have the micro series. I think I got this entire TMNT trade paperback lot on eBay for like $30. Micro series, more micro series. And then we also got the Secret History of the Foot Clan as well. I think I got it for like 30 or $33. I can't remember. But I know it wasn't more than 35. So, and to finish up, we got a couple more DC. We have Titans Rebirth, The Return of Wally West, which is my favorite Flash, probably my favorite DC character that's not Batman. Look at that cover. Amazing, by Brett Booth. Great storyline for sure. I think I also got this from Pop's Attic. I think so. Volume 1 and Volume 2. And then I also have a couple more books I wanted to show off. This was from my good friend Justin. This is The Adventures of Batman. It is just a regular book. Like, there's no pictures in here at all. I have not read it yet, but I need to. It's stories about Batman. I don't know where he got it, but the thing is massive. So whenever I get a chance, I definitely need to read this. It's pretty cool. And then recently I got this from my mother-in-law. Bible Force, the First Heroes Bible. So that is the trade paperback graphic novel collection. Again, I'm Steve from Burke Family 54 Comics, if I didn't say it earlier. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about my collection. Which one is your favorite? Do you have any of these? All that and more. All right, guys, thanks for watching. And as always, go Cats!
Cowabunga! It's morphin' time!